إله إلا الله لا إله إلا.
Change this country. We can topsy-turvy this country. You know that? Without shedding of blood, without killing anybody. It can be done. That's the destiny Allah is offering it to us. He said, لِيُزَهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. He's given you a deen that's to master, overcome and supersede them all. Bulldoze them all. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُشْرِكُونَ. Now mind how much the mushrik might not like it. This is the destiny of his deen. And he repeats it again. Another place in the Quran, same formula. Then he repeats again. هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى. He it is who has sent his messenger with guidance, وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ, and with the religion of truth, لِيُزْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ, that it may prevail, overcome and supersede every other deen, whether it be Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianism, Communism, Judaism, every ism. Islam is destined to master them all. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا. And enough is Allah is a witness to this fact that He's going to make His deen to prevail. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين أن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا والله أولى بهما. صدق الله المولى العظيم. I quoted, my dear brethren, I quoted to you an ayah from the Holy Quran from Surah Nisa. Surah Nisa happens to be the 4th chapter, ayah number 135. So in the ayah I read to you from Surah Nisa, you find that. How do you find as a Surah Nisa? You found it. Another way of getting this ayah, it's an ayah talking about justice. So in this Quran, in this index and the J, look for justice. And there are 7 different places where this word justice is mentioned. Justice. Allah is just. He wants you to be just. 7 different places. You can check them up. This one is chapter 4, verse 135. Allah says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu. He's addressing those who believe, those who have people who have faith. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu kunu qawwamina bil qist. Says, stand up firmly for justice. Wala wala anfusikum, even if it goes against yourself. Here's a start. You know, we can't do justice. Look around you. Can we do justice? Are we doing justice to our wives, our children, our neighbors, our brothers? In giving of the inheritance, brother eats away the sister's inheritance, because he says, look, if I give the inheritance, what is due to her, her husband will eat it up. So he eats it up. You know that? We don't give inheritance to our children, but what is due to our sisters we don't give. To our daughters we don't give. The son-in-law will eat it up. Can you do justice? There's a conflict of interest. Now, when you sit down and reason, and the man is reasoning with you, you say, look, we entered into a contract. Like this, like this, like that. And now, according to that, I am entitled to 50%. But you know, it's going to go against you now. You know that is so. So he said, yes, but you see, you know, I used to work night time, little extra time. I had to do this and I had to do that, so I deserve a bigger share. But look, we had bargained 50-50. We were going to share equally. He said, yes, but you see, can you do justice against yourself? If it goes against yourself, can you say, yes, no, brother, you are right. I owe you this, let me give it to him. Can you do it? Very difficult. Very difficult, because we are not trained for that. We are still animals. We want to grab. You don't want to give what is due to somebody else. We can't do justice because we are not programmed with justice. Anfusikum awil walidain. Or even if it goes against your parents, your father and your mother. You come home, your mother is complaining, that guy next door, you know, our little hen, murgi, it went into his yard and the guy hit it with a stone and broke the leg. Our hen. Murgi, you know, poultry. He broke the leg. You are now worked up into a frenzy. You want to go and fight that fellow, no? Yes. Your mother is crying about the chicken. So you want to put up a fight. You're not asking, Ma, what was our fowl doing in the other neighbor's yard? He says, that person there, he plants the bhaji, coriander, mint, and our fowl goes and scratches it up. Is it right? Can you tell that to your ma? You're going to take her part. Your ma is crying, you must go and fight for her. A dispute between your father and somebody else. You're going to take your father's side. No? You don't want to hear what is right and wrong. Your father is your father, man. You must take his side. Allah says, no, no, no. Even if it goes against your father or your mother. Wal aqrabin, or your relations. So Allah says, I want to protect people's interests. That is a poor man. Let me take his side. Allah says, no, you don't do that. That's not your job. Protecting people's interests is not your job. Your job is to do justice. That's what Allah says. Protecting people, no, you listen, and according to your God-given insight, sense of justice and fair play, whatever is to be done, you have to do. You don't say, I protect this fellow's interests because he's poor, he's weak, or I don't care, this man is rich, he can afford, let him pay. You don't do that. Now, this justice, are we capable of doing it? The answer is no. You know why? Because it needs a constant reminder. And Allah is giving it to us. In the Holy Quran, you reading, you bacha the Quran. What are you bachaing? There's instructions. If you only understood what is Allah is telling you, He's telling you, you say, no man, I must do justice. Any cost, I must do justice. Even if my son's head is involved, it has to be chopped off. He has been selling drugs. My son. He said, well, you know, you do this like that, you bribe this fellow and can get off. I said, let him pay the price. Can I do that? The only time I can do that is if I was constantly reminding myself, programming myself, brainwashing myself. I must do justice. I must do justice. Never mind if it's my son, and never mind if it's my father or my mother, never mind if it's my wife. If I keep on telling myself, reminding myself, Allah's kalam, wallah, you'll be able to do justice. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Just for reading, for recitation, beautiful. You know, when I get lawyers coming to my office, lawyers, I show them this beauty of the Quran. He will appreciate the man who is studying law. So I open the book for him. Anybody comes along, what's your profession? The guy says a journalist. I say, look, I show you in the Quran, miracle of journalism. You're a lawyer, man doing justice. I said, look, bring it here, Salih. Look what this book says about justice. Sit down. And I read this verse. There are so many verses. I read this verse. And the commentary. I said, chapter 4. I'm looking, chapter 4. Verse 135. I found it. Allah says, O you who believe, stand out firmly for justice as witnesses to God. Justice is Allah's attribute, and when you stand up for it, you're standing for God. He gives you a commentary, this man. Listen to his English. The substance of the message and the language that he's using. He says, justice is God's attribute. It's an attribute of God. Allah has got 99 names, and one of these names is Al-Haq. He is just. It says justice is God's attribute.